In this episode of the Exploring Information Security Podcast, how to manage Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Computers now have primary control of critical functions.
Houston, recommend vector transfer.
Your go for APU shutdown on time.
Roger, go for deploy.
Nice to be in orbit.
Welcome to the Exploring Information Security Podcast, where you will learn, explore, and grow your security mindset. I'm your host, Timothy D. Block, and in this episode, we will be exploring Security Awareness Month. With me to do that is Maeve Mueller, an IT security awareness owner at Bridgestone. Show notes can be found at exploresec.com/EIS. Feedback for the show, timothy.dblock@exploresec.com. You can also hit me up on LinkedIn or rate the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. If you're on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. We are starting up a community. We have a Discord server. We have a listserv, so you can get some updates on some of the things happening and get invited to some of the online meetups we do. Check out meetup.com for live events. This was a really good one to do. We did during Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Probably if I had some foresight, I would have done this prior to that, but this is when we ended up doing it, and you can always listen to this. A lot of the ideas still will apply for next year. You can listen to some of the things that we talk about regarding, people that actually have the role of Cybersecurity Awareness Month and all the things that they do. I know a lot of teams just try to put together, some stuff that they can do. A lot of the stuff I'm doing on my blog post too is typically security awareness focus. So you can go to exploresec.com and click on the blog button. Or go to /blog, and there's some resources there, some blog posts. I like to share some of that, stuff that I put together for my internal program, share it with people outside of the company, so you can just kind of grab it and do it, because, I have the time for it. A lot of teams don't. It's kind of like a side gig, which is what I did for several years before getting my own role in cybersecurity awareness. So with that, let's just go ahead and get right into it.
Yeah, Cybersecurity Awareness Month is going pretty well for us too. We have most of our big stuff out of the way already, so it kind of feels like after last week a bit of a weight off the shoulders, so we can coast through the rest of the month, hopefully.
So we'll see. I feel the opposite. So I'm like at the end now, and I'm finally doing my lunch and learn. I got so far behind on setting all this stuff up. Like October 1, I was like, oh, I don't have anything in place. And I had to spend like the rest, because October 1 was like a Wednesday, and I spent Wednesday through Friday. And it's like little things like getting blog posts up. It's planning out some, like I like to do in-person events. I haven't done any of them, but I've done other events. Like we do this big watch and win contest where I really just grabbed training we did last year, because it was actually very popular. I was like, oh, well, I'll give 9.5 hours of security awareness training to people, and like whoever finishes it, we'll give out prizes. And we had like 512 people finish all the 9.5 hours.
Wow, that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah,
9 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, honestly, let's be real. It was probably more like just putting on the videos and just going through them, like just letting them play while you work. Like that's how security awareness training videos are completed, right? Is you just turn it on and then just mute it and let it go.
Surely something sticks though.
Yeah.
The first couple minutes.
Yeah. Well, we have one of the big vendors. I won't mention it here, but we have one of the big vendors that has some really actually interesting training. So we've actually had a lot of people reach out even this year. So I actually added 2 more hours of training to this month's cybersecurity awareness like event. It's like a watch and win contest, and we'll just raffle off and like give people based on how much they actually complete. Let's look at an entry for every video they complete. But there's a lot of people, someone reached out to me today, said they just finished it and wanted me to confirm they finished it was 93 modules, which is just what I know, which is wild to me. But we did give, I try to give people the interesting stuff, not just the stuff that like I don't just grab and, throw stuff at the wall. It's more like, what's the actual interesting stuff that people can take stuff away that might actually grab their attention.
Yeah, for sure. No, I like that idea. I'm still just astounded that many people watch 9 hours, but Good for them. Those are the go-getters.
Yeah, we had we actually did numbers, and I don't remember, it was like thousands of hours that we got to send up to executive leadership saying, hey, we did this big month thing and people got this much training out of it. So that was really cool to kind of see, and why we did it again. I also did like little stuff. Like I feel like I'm still experimenting each year. Like I did puzzles last year. I didn't do them this year because I wanted to try some other events, and I'm just finding that like some are more engaging than others, and I feel like, I don't know, it's a bit of an art form to figure out which events are actually going to be impactful, right? Because I don't want to have an event just to have an event.
Yeah, I think that is hard, but I think you're right in saying like trying to find what's most engaging for people, because we do the trainings throughout the year, and I think people are sick of like death by PowerPoint essentially. So if a presentation is just going to be more PowerPoint slides, is it really worth, the effort to put that together? But one of the events that we did this year that was more like demonstration based with the goal of it being more engaging was the Cybersecurity Mythbusters, kind of playing off the old TV show and just like disproving some of the common myths people have about cybersecurity behaviors, and then also explain, like, why are you being taught about strong passwords every single quarter? Like, why do passwords actually matter, and how complex they are? So we like showed a password cracker and how like stolen passwords from a data breach can be used to crack your password if you're using something super plain or or like repetitive. So that we did. And then we also did kind of like the gamification that you mentioned, like watch and win. We did a pitch a fish competition. So we encouraged teammates to fish their own, or we created a fake person named Mimi Click. And then we like made a whole persona on her, like what's she posting on LinkedIn, what's her work experience, what are her hobbies. And then I encouraged people to create a phishing email that might get Mimi to put in her credit card or some other personal information about herself. And then obviously like the best ones will win prizes and recognition and things like that. But we actually saw a lot of participation in that, more than I was expecting, honestly. But I think like with that one especially, teammates are used to being the ones getting the phishing emails, every month or however often. So they enjoy then getting to turn the tables and do it back to the security team.
So I did not get as much engagement as I thought I might, because we talked about this too, where like I did a little bit of like fish the security team, because I felt like people would want to get back at the security team. And I've not gotten, I did get a few. It's actually funny because the one that actually got some people was, hey, this phishing link isn't working for the security team. Fish the security team link was literally the email one of them sent in. And I was like, this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. And I have found, because we've kind of talked about this. I don't want to tick people off with phishing, so I stay away from certain thing. Open enrollment's going on. I've already had 2 people like reach, you should do an open enrollment fish, and I was like, no, we're not touching that at all. But I have found like getting them even with like something as simple as that, like the link, and I put a login page behind it, and people logged in from the security team. I ticked them off. I did. They were not happy with me that I got them with a fish, which made me feel kind of bad. But it's also kind of like they're a little bit tougher than your average, person, right? So I'm willing to go a little bit, not necessarily maybe financial or anything, but that was a really clever one. So.
Yeah, I think it's such a delicate balance of how do I make my phishing campaigns believable without making people mad that they're getting them. So yeah, there's been a few that we've, gone back and forth if we're going to launch it or not, just based on the content. Right.
Yeah, I also did a meme the CISO. So I grabbed a goofy picture of our CISO, and no one's really submitted to that. Kind of just talking about how bad this security awareness month is for me. I'm not really great at my job, apparently.
Well, I think it's hard. Like, like you can have so many great ideas, but it's just a matter of like how do you get those out in front of people and actually make them want to participate. This is my third time doing a security awareness month. I think I've gotten a little bit better each time, but it's still a struggle, right? Like I got more engagement than I was hoping, but considering the size of my organization, it's, you know, really not not a huge percentage. So just got to take what you can get each year.
Yeah, well, my boss likes the in person, and I feel like, again, just because some of that the last year, like even the in person stuff, it just took up time. Like as far as grabbing the room, setting up the room, putting stuff like what we did was we did like a come watch some security awareness videos. Again, these are really good security awareness videos, but we had people come in and wanted to do like hey, let's have a discussion afterwards. We actually had a few people come up, but I'm always like, I don't know how I feel about like just having a handful of people show up. Is that really worth my time? But my boss loves the in-person events. I am doing a lunch and learn. I always like doing the lunch and learn type stuff where I actually go to Costco and get like $200 worth of food, which will feed 20 to 30 people versus like just getting pizza or a sandwich. And it's like good food too. It's like chicken wings and salads, and you can, you know, meet every sort of dietary restriction. But like some of that's fine because I can talk about, like, one of my favorite things in the lunch and learns is like talk about the phishing program and letting people actually like create the fish, I think is what I did last year. But
yeah, I think that, you know, an in-person event with only a few people, it's all about perspective, right? So I tried to think, you know, a cyber incident, all it takes is really just one person, and maybe we're preventing one of these people in the room from being the next person that opens that door. And then it's a legacy thing too. So if someone comes and it's a great event this year, maybe they'll bring their whole team next year, and just hopefully year over year that number increases. But I definitely feel, you know, when you put on an event and you only get a handful of people, it's definitely disappointing at first glance. That's all you have showing up.
yeah, and I thought I'd be deeper into understanding some of the inner workings, like communications and sending out to people. Like I had to run everything through marketing last year, and this year they've kind of just let me run free reign with a lot of that stuff outside of events. But it's like, so here's a question. When you set up the events, are you just sending out a calendar invite, or are you doing like a registration form?
Yeah, well, kind of both. So I did the registration through Teams this year, because we use Teams, and it did not work well because there's lots of settings in Teams that you have to configure correctly, and then once you launch the meeting, you can't go back and change them. So I'm not sure if I'll be doing it that way in the future, but we normally do a registration link through Teams, and then if we have distribution lists or groups of people that we want invited, we'll like forward them the calendar invite that comes with the registration. And that helps us to track like how many people are willingly signing up for, you know, this event. I think not to get too into the details, but how I'll do it in the future is just like set up a Microsoft form and then have a calendar invite and just add people to the invite, because the meeting link was not working this year and it was causing all types of problems, which was disappointing.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like those little things just add up. And I'm of two minds, especially with like a lunch that I'm trying to figure out how much money am I spending on food? Because I don't want to spend a ton of money if I'm only going to have a handful of people. But some of these I've had 15, 20, you talk about free food, you can get people in on some free food. And so like, I don't necessarily want to just invite people with the calendar invite, because then I have no idea, versus if you register, you're actually committing to it. So I know if you're going to be in person. I know 16, 20 people had signed up. Yeah, instead of inviting 200 people and not knowing who's going to show up.
Yeah, you could tell them, free lunch is only provided if you accept the invite or like respond back that you're coming, and have a bouncer at the door, if your name's not on the list.
Gotta hire the physical security person to kick someone out if they're no food for you. You didn't sign up. You didn't register. I mean, because I've run other stuff, not being a security awareness person. I was at a company where I did some kind of security awareness on the side, and one of the worst I had food, but one of the worst things was I was like, oh well, people aren't showing up, and then increased by 100% for one meeting, and I ran out of food, and people kind of like just were like, well, I'm not showing up. I'm going to go grab lunch now because I didn't have enough food. I was down to like cheese and crackers. It was bad. So it's like, I always try to err on the side of having enough food. So I don't know, like to me, this is kind of what I want to talk about too, is just some of the logistics of it is just, it sucks up more time. Like we have a popcorn machine. We bought a popcorn machine for security awareness last year.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. And so we would do this stuff, and I bust out this security awareness popcorn machine. Oh, I'll tell you, Copilot. I don't know if you have Copilot, but it does a really good job of creating posters. So now I'm trying to put my own customized posters up. So for example, the popcorn machine, I have not popped it once this month. I popped it at least 3 times last year, but that's because last year, again, I held like an event each week. And here's the thing, you can pop the popcorn, it takes 2 to 3 minutes, but then it takes you 30 minutes to actually clean that thing out after you're done with the event, get rid of the popcorn, do all the other stuff. And it just adds up. And I feel like I'm just busier this year, but I filled it with Swedish fish, and I put up like a customized Swedish fish poster with like a security tip on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and I did like, so it's like, doing little things like that. It's like, oh, this should only take 30 minutes. And then 2 hours later, you're still, trying to work through some of the stuff or get it set up or get cleaned up. Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of how, I'm 100% dedicated to security awareness. And I know that you have a lot of other things on your plate. So I start planning, like, initial conversations start happening like in June about like who needs to be involved, like what kind of ideas do we have, like knowing that I still have, phishing campaigns and trainings and other things to do throughout the rest of the summer, that I got to start thinking about it early. So it's a process to get all of the details finalized. I still feel like October, I'm kind of running around with like my head cut off, but I've also gotten really good at saying no. So like if someone comes to me in September with new projects or ideas, I'm like, after October, like we got to put a pause on it for now.
Yeah, that's ideally what I want to do, is like start it early, but it definitely, I don't know. I also told my boss, I was like, I'm not burning. I feel like I was burned out last year too at the end of the month. And then I got to send out all these, I sent out like 17 packages for prizes. So I spent most of November just shipping out boxes and pulling together stuff for it. Cause that's actually a big focus of mine this year, has been we want to do more swags. We did some swag last year. Vendors like that you work with are really great cause they have a lot of swag. So my cube is just packed with like vendor swag right now, but I want to get like smart. Yeah, but I want to get more like internal like swag that we can hand out for some of this different stuff. So, and that's I was like, I really don't want to be shopping on this website right now. Like, I don't know what it was. It was like cool, but it's like it's almost like decision overload. Like there's so many different options that you can choose from, and it's like what will people actually want? Because I don't want to also just buy stuff to just throw at people. Yeah, people love the free stuff. People love swag, and people love food. It's kind of interesting because I always have a hard time getting the like fun swag, right? Like spending money on the things people don't really need. So I always end up erring towards like, we get like microfiber, like screen cleaning cloths or like sticky notes or pens. I wish I had something. I don't have anything on my desk right now, but just something that's more fun or more like work related. And then we try to do like one fun item that's smaller, but those are always a hit. And then we try to get some sort of like branded item for our security teammates too, just as sort of like an appreciation during October. Security Awareness Month is about making the security team's life easier. So this year we're doing like a lunch for them too. Just to kind of recognize them. I hadn't even thought about it from that aspect of actually, I guess, I don't know. It's kind of like Nurses Week or Teachers Week or Firefighter Week. Is that kind of what you're saying with the? Yeah, kind of. Like that was when I first started our CISO at the time. He was very passionate about making sure that we did some recognition for the security team. And I mean, like I said, like when you think about it, by educating teammates and, pursuing our security awareness goal,
we're hopefully making their lives a little bit easier because you don't have teammates with crappy passwords or not having MFA or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I could totally see that. So so I guess what were some of the in-person events? So I saw on LinkedIn that you had just like a booth essentially, which I want to do the same thing. I want to get a tablecloth cover just so I can go to some events and like have a place set up with like a tablecloth, and then like you guys just brought in donuts and and I guess I had some swag as well.
Yeah. So that on my LinkedIn, we were in the lobby of our office in Nashville, just handing out the swag items and obviously donuts that gets people to come over to the table, and then some info cards that had like a Be Secure checklist on it, and just like the info for our events that we were doing. So we did that on October 1st, just to kind of let people know, October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Here's what we have going on. We had corporate security down there with us. And then the next day we had our Cybersecurity Mythbusters presentation. And I had one of my cybersecurity engineering teammates help with that presentation. And then the corporate security person helped with that as well. And then we did the same event. Last week, I was actually in Brussels at our European headquarters, and we did the same event live there and did a similar type of booth situation, like handing out info cards and putting swag on everyone's desk. So to give the in-person option for multiple of our teammates. And then the last thing we did, which was a week and a half ago now, the National Cybersecurity Alliance, who is actually the people who birthed Cybersecurity Awareness Month, they offer speaker presentations like for a donation to their company. And so we used theirs that was called The Smart Person's Guide to Getting Duped. And it was really interesting. We got really great feedback on it. And they basically talked about the business behind cybercrime, how it's exponentially grown over the past several years, and how it's not just some dude in his grandma's basement that's like trying to hack you. These are like cybercrime compounds in different parts of the world who are extremely skilled at these things. And so I think that shocked a lot of people that don't work in security and don't necessarily know that.
That's what I found like hits the most with people is like stories. And then like you're talking about too is the showing how a password is cracked, showing how Wi-Fi can be intercepted, showing how plugging in a USB device can, own your machine very, very quickly. I think those are all like really good for, especially for Security Awareness Month. But like one of the things I want to get away from, I don't know if you feel this too, is like, I don't want to do this all in 1 month. I'd like to have like one event throughout the entire year. I'd like, I'm kind of over the each month is a new different thing. I don't even know what next month is, but there's probably like 5 different, awareness efforts outside of security that's going to happen. Oh yeah, it's let's see, No Shave November is next month.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like I want to get away from these months and just do something like throughout the year. But again, it's just amazing how much time it takes to kind of put together these just different things that make an impact.
Yeah. Yeah. We always end our our in-person events or on our blog posts that we're doing, we always end with, October's not the only time of year you should be thinking about this. It's just one time to bring it to the forefront of your mind, but this is important every single month out of the year. Hopefully that helps it stick, but it's hard to tell sometimes.
Right. So the Brussels, do they do donuts or is it a different pastry or is it a different food in general that you put at the booth?
We didn't actually have we didn't have donuts or pastries or anything. We had some candy from there. And then I brought Smarties and I brought Nerds, individual packaged Nerds, because I know in the US, when someone comes and visits us, I love when they bring candy that we can't get here. And so I was like, I actually asked ChatGPT, I was like, what's some candy that you can't really get in Belgium? And I wanted to connect it. I really wanted to get Swedish fish because I wanted to connect it some way, but those don't come individually packaged. And I was like, no one's going to like be dipping their hand into a bowl of Swedish fish. So I got Smarties, like, because if you're smart, you are cyber secure. And then nerds, just because, again, you know, cybersecurity nerds. So that was a hit. People loved that. The swag and the candy off the shelves. Didn't come home with any of that.
I love the thought with that, and I love the clever puns. So one of the things that I want to do for swag is get a security blanket.
Yeah.
And have like the company logo on it. Yeah. So that's currently one of the ones I'm working on. And then I'm gonna I think I'm getting stress balls, stress relievers that are in the shape of a fish. It says like nice catch on it.
Yeah. Yes, we're getting we got rubber duck, or they're like rubber ducks, but they're fish, and they have our like logo on them. And then hopefully those sit on people's desks and they hopefully don't get fished. Same thing with the stress reliever too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. How much are you using ChatGPT this year versus like compared to previous months?
So yeah, at work I use Copilot for all my AI needs because we have that. But yeah, I would say I used AI a lot for like even helping with the event ideas, like what we wanted to present in the Mythbusters presentation, the candy ideas, you know, like what kind of swag items should we get, things like that, more like or like brainstorming, like ideas, and then kind of, it's hard to explain your whole company's culture without writing like thousands of words of prompt to get something, you know, that's actually accurate. So really just ideas, and then thinking, you know, of this list of things, what can we take and apply here? But I'd say definitely more this year than last year. But I think I've just used Copilot more this year than I ever have before.
Yeah, no, I think it's getting better. Like I was saying, the posters, like and we have a laminator right in the office. Someone showed me how to use. I was like, oh, I can just essentially create my own posters for whatever thing is going on. So I said, like the fish I filled up the popcorn machine with, and we'll have one for popcorn, but then I did like a bagels and coffee. And I said, did you remember to lock your workstation before coming and grabbing a bagel and a coffee? Nice. Right. Because I walk around their office and there's still people walking or leaving their computers unlocked. So yeah, it's definitely like, especially for like blog posts. And what I liked about not feeling like I was going to do a bunch of stuff and kind of being able to be a little bit more flexible is I have been able to create some blog posts for Security Awareness Month that are kind of relevant to stuff going on currently. So we had something pop up with VPNs. So we wrote up a blog post, and I love the idea. And I saw it on your LinkedIn post too, creating stuff that applied to people on a personal level in their personal life. So like VPNs was like, here's the VPNs you should be using. Don't use these crappy ones. Here's some recommended, you know, VPNs that you can use. So definitely using it for stuff like that.
Yeah, I think security awareness in general, not just during October, it's so important to figure out a way to make people care about it. And for most people, hopefully work is not their life. Like hopefully they get to go home, or they have parents that they're taking care of, or pets, or, you know, their house, their kids, whoever that they want to keep safe. You know, that's their priority. So if you can make them care about protecting those things, that's going to bleed over to how they're behaving at work too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's also like, this is what I've found is that it's a lot of marketing. And I don't think I'm very good at it. So I don't know if you have any like recommendations for how to figure out how to market this stuff better, but that's one of the things that I've kind of struggled with. Yeah,
I'm someone, I feel like I have a continuous improvement mindset, I guess, or I'm like, yeah, I'm okay at the marketing aspect of it, but I know I can definitely, you know, there's always room for growth. But yeah, I think finding ways to make people care about it is like really the biggest thing. But it's so hard, right? Like that's so vague and it depends on the person. But yeah, Yeah, I think security awareness is essentially marketing. Like you're marketing the secure behaviors. But I don't know if this really ties in with marketing, but I feel like relationships play a huge part in the success of the program. So, like, yes, I'm marketing security awareness, but I'm also trying to make myself someone that people want to come and talk to about security issues or know that they can trust to like help them find the right answer. And I think that helps a lot too, like building the trust there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that, which is I'm finding very tough. We've talked about this too. We feel like sometimes our objective is very adverse to the security team's objective with as far as like they want to block everything and we're going, no, we want you to come talk to us with all your problems and stuff. So yeah, it's I think it's definitely relationships. Definitely. I feel like sometimes I am outside of the security team because I kind of have to take the side of what is a user going to do. And there's certain reasons why that's important to the security team. And a lot of it is the creation of shadow IT, right? If we make things harder for people in the organization, then, they're going to circumvent our controls and they're not going to want to come talk to us at all.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my leaders has a great, he doesn't want us to be the department of no, N-O. He wants us to be the department of no, K-N-O-W, because we just don't want to be the team that people are coming to and we're always saying no. Like any security team, right? Like, because like you said, as soon as you start saying no to everything, people just find solutions to their own problems that make our lives a lot harder.
Yeah. Well, and I think security awareness too is kind of that next. I don't know if I want to say evolution, but within the field itself, right? The technology is getting better, but what we're seeing is people at the company are being exploited a lot more, and you're seeing it with some of these groups now coming up, and they're not even technically savvy. They just know how to talk to people and get them to do things that they don't want to do. And if you can get a login, you don't need to hack anything. You just get logged in and then start downloading stuff or, pivot to somewhere you can get more higher privilege stuff. And there's not really a tool that necessarily stops that. It's the human element of it.
Yeah, exactly. I do our new hire orientation every couple of weeks. And one of the things we say is, cyber criminals have learned that organizations of all sizes are spending a lot of time, money, and resources to protect our technology and our systems. So it's much cheaper and easier for that cyber criminal to target you as an individual. You're much more likely to hand something over than however much we're putting into our technological defenses. So that's something we try to share. Like, again, back to the cybercrime compounds, like these people are just trying to play with your emotions. Like that's what they're trained to do. And getting people to understand that, they can be a target for those things, regardless if you're top of the food chain or like you just started 2 weeks ago, like you have a password. So you're a good target for them. Which sounds scary when you say it out loud. Like I hate sounding so so negative, but
so dark.
Yeah. That's a fine line too in security awareness. Like how do we educate people without
freaking them out?
The sky is falling, yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. I try to take the optimistic view of like, yeah, if you do certain things, it can. But that's the other thing, and I want to write a blog post on this around. Give me go to ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever, and go and ask for. Give me all the security advice you have, right? Because I'm sure it's a long list, and I feel like as an industry, right? Because there's so many different things to worry about. It's like you get 3 things to give someone advice. What advice are you giving to them? Because if you start breaking it, because that's part of it too. I think overload is definitely a huge thing that we have to be concerned with, because we're like, don't create a strong password. Don't use the password manager in your browser because there can be malware that gets installed in your. It's like, all right, you get to choose one. You can have strong passwords, or or you can have weak passwords. And this is my conversation with the cybersecurity, because I keep getting told, no, don't use a password manager on the browser because it's hackable. But I'm like, well, they can create a randomly generated password that's unique to their account, or they can just write it down and it be, maybe either reused or it's a weak password.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes it's like, is it worth, that risk if they're going to use a random password? So that's definitely a balance there. But yeah, I don't know. There's lots of little nuances like that. And to your point, sometimes it's like you could spew a million different security behaviors to people, but how are you actually going to make it stick and not overwhelm them at the same time?
Yep. That's the biggest thing. Yep, for sure. What do you think of this human risk management movement?
Yeah, it's a lot to digest, I think, when you first hear about it. I think the like insertion of AI into human risk management and moving away maybe from the terms, security awareness or all of that. Like, I think building AI into it is really interesting because you're able to look at the full person. Like, how are they responding to the trainings, to the phishing campaigns, to real incidents? Like, I think that's really, I don't know. I think that's really interesting, and I'm excited to see where that goes. I think as far as getting buy-in from, outside the security awareness community, the term human risk, I'm just interested to see how that's received, right? Because it is human risk, and you just talked about that, like you're managing the behaviors of these people that are the targets, but it just sounds so much different than I think what is used in the corporate vernacular, like day to day.
It's a very HR term. That's something I recently found. And that's what, human, no, it's not human risk, human resources, right? Like, it's very close to that. It's that I think there's going to be a conflict, or maybe cybersecurity people move over to the HR department to be involved in that, right?
Yeah.
I do think human risk management, and I think security awareness is positioned to be kind of that overall collection of what is the human risk, because we have we're kind of having people practice, or we're getting valuable information from the simulated phishes and the are you completing your training aspect, but then you can pull in telemetry from other security tools and other just general IT things around their habits, that you're getting user behavior analytics. So like you, I'm excited to see kind of what that kind of turns into. But you're right, like, it's an awful name, but I think it's already set by like Gartner, and so they're we're kind of locked into that at this point. It's going to be like that's going to be start a whole other set of things just around, if you want a human risk management person, are they an HR person or are they like a cybersecurity? And that's even just from like a salary standpoint, right? Because those might be different salary scales that organizations are going to have to work through. But I know we're trying to move towards something like that. And it's more just the data analytics component of it.
Yeah. I feel like I already have a hard enough time describing, what do you do in security awareness to people who aren't familiar with that? Human risk, like, how am I going to describe, like, oh, I'm trying to mitigate the risk that you cause to the organization? I don't know, like that. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there, but.
Yeah. No, that's a good point too. I like to align security awareness with situational awareness, because I think that helps people kind of see some of that stuff, particularly in, whatever they are, right? You have to pay attention to certain aspects of your job. That's just the same thing with cybersecurity, is being aware of the situation, understand the context, and figuring out the best way to respond to it.
Right.
Cool. Any last thoughts or anything last ideas around Security Awareness Month?
I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like, I don't know. I think that it's a good, like we talked about, it's a good time of year to focus on cybersecurity, but the ultimate goal out of that is to try to get people hooked on it for the whole year. No pun intended, but to try to get them like buying in the whole year, like get them to join our communities and like tune into our pages. try to make it interesting, right? So I feel like, even though you feel like you're behind, like every little thing you do is going to make a difference for at least one teammate. So I think I would encourage, like, if there are other people listening who are worried about, I don't have resources to do a full-blown cybersecurity awareness month with events and, blog posts every day or anything. I think just like start with what you can and let it naturally grow, because whatever you can do, is going to impact at least someone. If not, it's going to help you know what to do better in the future. So I would just use it as an opportunity to reach teammates, even if it's just one or two.
Yeah, I like your thought on the continuous learning. And that's kind of how I've approached it, is like, all right, this one didn't hit as well as I thought it did. I did one of the things I wanted to do last year was a cybersecurity Jeopardy contest between people. Yeah. And I had like one team sign up. So I did send them stuff, but I was like, no one else signed up. I'm sorry. We can't pull this together. But yeah, I think there's definitely an opportunity to learn something new. I'm doing a lot more. Well, maybe I did about the same blog post, but like I'm trying to get in. Like I said, I want this to kind of be a launching pad to like do more things throughout the year versus just waiting, for 1 month to do. Because I've had these ideas of let's do a lunch and learn every quarter. So I'm hoping this is that launching point. One of the other things that I've been wanting to start since the beginning of the year that I'm finally doing this month is starting a security advocates program, where I'm going to pull in people from outside of security to come in. We'll meet once a month for about an hour. I'll talk about kind of and then hopefully get feedback from them on some of the different stuff going on out in the field. Because to me, we have 26,000 employees. It's like I can't touch everyone. To your point, it's like I can't touch everyone, but maybe I can at least start opening up that communication and kind of spread some of that cybersecurity awareness. Do you call it cybersecurity awareness or security awareness?
I call it Cybersecurity Awareness Month, okay. But technically, like, I do IT security awareness. But it's actually like different cultures. Like information security is very different than cybersecurity, like with what you're protecting. So I just normally say like IT security. But I wanted to make a point to what you said about your security advocates program. We have something that's more like ad hoc, like it's not formally structured, and maybe this is true for you, maybe not, but I find the people that are willing to be security advocates or like champion your security messages back to their team, they all have some story that makes them care about that. So you talked about the importance of storytelling. All those people, like, they were either around at a company when a huge cyber incident happened, or they have a parent that was scammed out of however much money. Like, they have some personal reason that they care about this and want to use their time at work to talk about cybersecurity. And so it's important to find those people that have actually felt the impact of not being, aware of the secure behaviors. And I don't want to say using those people, because you're not, but you're teaming up with them to, further your mission and also help them and their teams, be smarter in that area.
Yeah, no, that's great. Like, yeah, that's what I try to use is the stories and like, to your point, it's also understanding what are people outside of security concerned with. And so I think that will help with some of the focus on some of the, I guess, advice or information that we can provide people so that they have, can kind of keep it top of mind throughout the year.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. Anything you want to plug or anything final you want to mention?
Not really. I'm on LinkedIn. I sometimes post security awareness content, but mostly it's just updates from what I'm doing at work. But yeah, I think that's about it. I'm very grateful to have been on this podcast. It's fun to talk about what I do at work, to some degree. So, yeah, and Cybersecurity Awareness Month is like a highlight for me because I really do enjoy it, and I get to talk to a lot of different people across my business and across the industry. So it's a fun time for me. Almost done, so I'm happy about that though.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. If you're a national or you're in the security awareness community, hit us up because we like to. This is I've been in the cybersecurity field for well over 10 years now. And it is just kind of interesting because we met last year. Yeah, last year at the SAN Security Awareness Conference. And it's just security awareness is just an entirely different community from the cybersecurity field. And I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing, but I know you and I are trying to meet more people within the security awareness so we can talk about this kind of stuff. And
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been nice. I think we get lunch maybe like once a quarter, but just to talk about some of the pain points and to know, oh, I'm not the only one feeling this way, or to get ideas too. It is really beneficial to have a connection.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, Maeve, thank you for joining me to discuss Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.